the judges ready. Drum majors Christine Hall, Megan Payne, and Jerusha Johnson. Is your band ready? Dave High School, you will take the field in competition.
show concept this year was a interesting thing. We started out looking for ideas of something around World War II. We wanted to recognize people who'd served. We wanted to do some and put together a musical package using a lot of World War II type themes and ideas. But the more we looked at it, the more we just couldn't find everything we were needing. So one day I was in my office and I saw a Marine Band CD called Uncommon Valor, and I thought, well, that might have something on it that I'd be interested in. So I pulled it out, went and threw it on the player, and the first piece on it was Esprit de Corps, the Robert Jagger piece that we opened the field show with. And I thought, there you go. There's our opener. And then I kept listening, and I found Eternal Father, Strong to Save, and then I heard the most glorious arrangement of taps I'd ever heard. It never, ever crossed my mind that you could harmonize taps. And when I heard that, I said, that's it. We've got the concept. So I went to Dave Checketts, our arranger, and I said, Dave, here's the ideas that I'm looking for and the things I want to do. I said, I want to close with America. And then I said, in the middle, you've got to give me this this in-your-face, grating military, throwing the collage of the different military themes at us. And he didn't understand at first, went home, brought me back something really cheesy, and I said, no, you're not understanding. I said, I want all the military themes laid in a collage, almost like you're writing a sonata allegro form. And Dave says, oh, okay, I got it. And he went home and he came back with the Armed Forces section that we put in the show. So it really was a desire to do something that would be a tribute to those who've served in the Armed Forces. And when we got done, based on all the people who came and talked to me, we achieved our goal. We've always done really well with patriotic shows. My second year at Davis, we did American Civil War Fantasy, had a very successful season. And then 2 years ago, we did the Independence Day show, which again was very patriotic in nature. Always had a lot of success with those, always had a lot of people who would come up, even years later, after, 8 years ago, we did American Civil War Fantasy, and people are still talking to me about it. So I wanted to do something patriotic, knowing that it's something we do well with. And the process of honoring those who've served just kind of happened as the show developed and was created, as I found the Uncommon Valor CD on my shelf. It's amazing that I'd gone out and purchased probably $100 worth of CDs looking for music, and it was sitting there on my shelf the whole time. But that's kind of where it came from. We just wanted to do something patriotic. Yes. I would have to say that the kids this year, all season long, felt like, and I don't know if it was they felt like it or we just kept saying it, that it was their gift. And that was the way we looked at it. From the day we put that show in the field, we said, this is our gift to those who've served in the Armed Forces. And the way the kids responded to it and looked at it, knowing that they were giving a gift, it meant more to them. And that's what's going to make next year so tough. The kids this year knew that they were giving a gift to people. And I know that because of that, it meant a lot more to them, and they worked harder to put the show together. In a way, the Davis Band has made such a steady progression over the last number of years, and particularly in the last 3 years, we've started to really, shall we say, close the gap and become what is our objective is to be the premier high school marching band in the state of Utah. And that's part of the drive. Part of the drive was doing something that they wanted to do because it was a gift they were giving to somebody. A big part of the drive with the kids this year is just knowing that they're part of a great tradition that goes back for decades, and knowing that that they have an opportunity to become a part of that tradition and to add to that tradition and make it as good as it can possibly be. You don't find the kind of desire and drive and motivation in a lot of other places that I find here, just because the kids know it's expected. They know that nothing less than their best is acceptable. My favorite part of the show, Actually, two sections. Taps. When the casket comes forward, the kids are all face pack filled. From a musical standpoint, chills every single time. Just sitting there and realizing it, and watching the whole thing play out, and I cried almost every time I watched that part of the show. The other part that was to me my favorite was when we hit the America after the 8 counts of dead silence. If we hit it, it was absolutely amazing. The Iwo Jima thing coming up, and the flags being presented, and the band hitting this big double arc and pushing it forward was just absolutely amazing. And the audiences obviously appreciated that. We had spots. We had a couple of shows where people stayed on their feet for the rest of the show after we presented Iwo Jima. They, especially veterans who stood and saluted the American flag that was on the field at that point for the rest of the show. So it was really those two spots.